officer shot in this city. Is everyone ready? They're about to begin. Let's listen in.
So my name is John Muller. I'm the Yonkers Police Commissioner. I'm here with Mayor Mike Spano, Corazon Pineda, Councilwoman Corazon Pineda, Jimmy Nolan, who's Westchester County Legislator, Pat McCormick, who is our Detective Captain, Joe Monaco, Chief of Investigations, Chris Sapienza, Chief of Support Services, and our Chief of Patrol, Danny Campanini. So I'll go in and give you guys a brief overview, and then we'll answer any questions as long as you need to get through this. So today at approximately 2:10 p.m. at 115 Elm Street, which is right behind us, that's the intersection of Elm and Linden, our Yonkers police officers that are assigned to the Westchester Safe Streets Task Force were conducting a gun investigation. They do this every day, and this day had led them in a number of different spots. They were with members of the FBI and other members of the Westchester Safe Streets Task Force. They attempted to apprehend 3 suspects involved with the gun investigation, and in the course of investigating, 2 of the suspects went into the bodega at 115 Elm Street, and they were attempted to detain all 3 suspects. It was a fairly chaotic situation. We had plenty of people in there. One of the suspects attempted to push past one of our detectives, a Yonkers detective, and when our Yonkers detective pushed him back, it appears that he fired one shot at our detective from his pocket, shooting him in the stomach. An FBI agent who was part of the Safe Street Task Force returned fire, and the suspect is deceased. Our officer is in a local hospital. He is in critical but stable condition. He was shot once in the stomach. He has damage to his colon, his intestines, and his kidneys, and he lost a tremendous amount of blood, but thankfully we think he's going to be okay. So that's where we're at now. Obviously, the investigation is extremely preliminary, very early. There's a lot that we have to sort out. There's some things that we really can't say, but we'll do our best to answer all the questions that you may have in regards to what we're doing here. It is a senior officer. The officer who we won't give his name, he has 27 years with the Yonkers Police Department, and he is a detective.
Would you clarify, FBI officer shot suspect, not a Yonkers police officer?
That is correct. At this point in the investigation, it appears that the FBI member of the Westchester Safe Street Task Force fired, and not our detective who was shot himself.
So the 3 suspects go into the bodega. There were detectives already in there?
No. The officers and the detectives and the members of the Safe Streets Task Force attempted to engage people on the corner in front of the bodega, and they went into the suspects went into the bodega, and then that's where the incident occurred. It was all captured on video, the entire incident, so we have a pretty good handle on obviously there's going to be much more work to do, but we have a pretty good handle on what happened and how it happened.
The other 2 suspects were able to...
Well, right now we have a number of people in custody. We're still sorting it out. Very chaotic situation. So in this particular case, there may be witnesses that are now being interviewed by our detectives and FBI agents. There may be additional suspects. We're still trying to sort all that out.
Did any other law enforcement officers fire a weapon during this?
To the best of our knowledge, no other officers on the Safe Streets Task Force fired their weapon in this incident, to the best of our knowledge.
Does the task force work in uniform or street clothes?
So the question was, does the task force work in a uniform or plain clothes? It's a combination, and this is something that we found very effective in the past to combat the surge of gun violence, where we have officers from the state police and the Yonkers police and other local police agencies working in concert with the FBI to combat gun violence. So they were in plain clothes, and they were conducting an investigation. Yes, the question was, is everybody accounted for? The answer is yes. At this point, everyone is accounted for. The question was, do the suspects that we have in custody have any criminal records? At this point, we don't know. We're still sorting that out. Obviously, when that becomes available, we'll have that for you. Yes, sir. We're still trying to work that out. It's unknown. The officer was rushed to the hospital. The suspect was rushed to the hospital.
You have been listening to Yonkers Police updating the public on an officer shot in the city. It happened just after 2. Police say Yonkers Police and a task team were conducting a gun investigation with the FBI among the members of that team, and they were attempting to apprehend 3 suspects when one of the suspects, they say, shot one of their detectives, a gentleman with 27 years with the Yonkers PD. At that point, one of the other members of that task force returned fire, killing the suspect. Now, the detective is in the hospital. He suffered a wound to the stomach, lost a lot of blood at the scene, as you can imagine, but he is expected to recover. We, of course, will stay on listening to the press conference, bring you updates on ABC 7 NY and on air as soon as we get more information. Sandra?
We are going to turn now to Chief Meteorologist Dick Goldberg for a quick check of the AccuWeather forecast.
All right, thank you, Sandra.